In this video, I will be going over the coding magic that somehow got me over 150,000 views from a very dumb coding project. Yes, this is how to use embeddings in Java Spring. The days that we need to succumb to Python for anything AI related are gone. Now, learning how to do this took me a few months, but I'll be summarizing what I learned and how I would do it if I had to start all over again. And you can use embeddings not just for Reddit analysis, like so many other projects this can apply to. Everything from a search engine to an AI girlfriend, whatever you want. I'm certainly not here to judge. Also, just a heads up, this is going to be a little different than my other videos, not the fast-paced, quirky videos, a little more educational and informative. Basically, if my other videos are like the Disney Channel, this one's going to be more like National Geographic, which is equally as interesting sometimes. So we're going to start off with a basic Java project here. Let's create our first 3 fake Reddit posts and the text we want to compare it to. So I'm just going to use the example of the video that went viral, and we're going to build a sort of simple version of that. So now that we have our posts, we now need to store them in a vector database. For that, we will be using Postgres and their PGVector capabilities. Trust me, I have tried them all. I have tried Chroma, I have tried Pinecone, I have tried Snowflake. Do not lose your hair trying to learn those. Postgres is by far the easiest to set up. And to do that, let's just head over to our dependencies and paste them in there. Also, I do have a blog on this, so if you want an easy way to copy and paste, I have linked it below. After adding our dependencies, we then need to touch up our application.properties file. This can also be found in the blog. You will notice that there is an OpenAI API key here, which you just need to quickly create over at the OpenAI platform. You will also notice that the database setup is identical to how you would do it with a normal Postgres database. There's one more step that I'll show you next, but in terms of the configuration, it is identical. Also, one thing to point out here, you'll notice the text3 embedding model lower down there. That is the model that we'll be using. It is the cheapest, but also very effective model on OpenAI. For some context here, I ran this embedding model on over 10,000 Reddit posts this month, and it's cost me a whopping 3 cents. So do not be concerned about the price. It is incredibly cheap, especially compared to ChatGPT. So finally, we need to finish this Postgres setup. So unfortunately, Spring JPA does not automatically create these tables for the vector store table where the embeddings will be going. So we actually need to run some SQL code here, and yes, we need to do it raw. So be careful. So let's give that a quick run and our database will be ready to go. Back to our script here with our 3 posts and comparison text. We need to bring in our vector store. This can just be auto-wired as it is set up automatically by Spring. Then we can save our posts to the database, and it's that easy. Now, if we want to read from this database and say, get the ones that match our search query, we just need to build a search request like that, and then configure the results as so, and then we'll just print them out at the bottom. And as you can see, it will show us our results. You'll notice the score for I am in love with my TA is much higher. That's because from the magic of the embedding, it just kind of works like that. Turns out those people over at OpenAI, they're pretty smart. So now that you have that working, what I'd recommend doing is changing up the comparison text, maybe change the Reddit posts, and see how the scores change based on their sentiment and how similar they are, how different they are. That's how you're really going to get a good grasp on how to use this. Hope this helps. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Thank you. Bye.